Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing my little baby girl's 5-month-old update video. She was born at 33 weeks, so it was a little early. It was 7 weeks early. And I was just kind of wanting to do like, where she's at now, like where we've been, like her journey thus far in life and like what we've done and like things she's learned and just how she's developed. But I wanted to say, I wanted to film like the 1-month video and the 2-month video, and like I don't even know where the time went. I've vlogged so much. I've got tons of clips, from then till now, but I didn't do like any sit-down videos. So this is me doing a sit-down video and talking about her. So if you're new to my channel and you don't know, her name is Stella Kamei, and she was 5 pounds 7 ounces. I guess we'll start with after the last video that you saw. So when we brought her home from the hospital, she was 5 pounds even that morning when we left, and we had her in a little car seat that was rated for 5 pounds, and she was so tiny in it. Her head was flopping. It was terrible. Better go sit down, buddy. I sat in the back seat with her the whole way home and like just held her head. Like I was so nervous. We were so nervous. We didn't know what we were doing, and we immediately got her a new car seat that was rated for 4 pounds. So it just held her in a little. It just held her in a little bit more snugly. I guess you could say it's the Graco one. It's got the little head support things, and it really did. It kind of set her back further too. I don't know. It really helped in terms of like making us feel like she was safe. And so we really love that car seat. But she was so little, and it drove me nuts because that's all anybody would say was she's so tiny. And I was like, but she's more than just tiny. She's my baby, like I see all these other things about her, and everybody's just like, oh, she's so little, she's so tiny. And like, I know she's tiny, but I just wanted somebody to say, wow, look how big she is. And I know she wasn't big, but you want people to think that your baby's perfect, We bought the little Owlet monitor, or Owlet, I'm not really sure how you pronounce it, but it has been so nice for us. She wore that when she was first home. I was so paranoid, and she wore that literally all day long. Like, I would take it off to charge like when we were awake and when she was awake, which was maybe 30 minutes out of the day, like no joke. When we brought her home for the first 2 months of her life, I kid you not, she was maybe awake 30 minutes to an hour each day. She just did nothing but sleep and eat, which was fine, but it was so demanding. And it was basically, until her due date, it was basically like we had a brand new baby every single day. Like, there was no change as far as, she's learning how to do this now, she's doing this now. And that was one thing that was hard, was seeing, other babies that had been born recently, around the same time as her, doing things and like, smiling or opening their eyes and looking at you and, just doing things like that. And it's still hard to like, I catch myself like, oh, but Stella's not doing that yet. And I'm like, oh, but wait, she's 7 weeks early. So you got to like deduct that and realize that she's not quite really 5 months old yet. She's not. The little Owlet monitors, yes, she wore that like literally nonstop. With the little bitty sock was so big on her foot, it barely fit. Like the little Velcro part like would just barely clasp. And that was like the very first like sock size, so tiny. And she wore that literally all the time. We had a little pack and play out in our den, and that's where we slept for the first 2 weeks, I believe. And then Dee had to go back to work. And so we kind of took turns on there. Dee would not sleep at all. He stayed awake all night long when it was his turn to let me sleep. Like, he didn't feel comfortable going to sleep. But she was so little. And she still had like little hair on her face, and she was just so tiny. By about 2 weeks, we started moving to the bedroom. And once Dee started going back to work, he would sleep in the guest room, and I would sleep with her in our room. We took the pack and play back there. And that was sleeping. We tried so much. We didn't know what to do. Like as far as like getting her to go to sleep, she would not lay flat. Like we had the little halo that did not work for us. So she ended up sleeping in like, there's a little pack and play back here. That's got like the little insert like that plops down and it's kind of swoopy. She slept in that for probably about another month. And then after that, we finally got her to where she like, after she would eat, she wouldn't spit up as much. And so she started laying flat again. So by about 1 month, you know, she was doing a little better. I guess we did not leave the house with her until she was 8 weeks old. We did go to the doctor the Monday after we brought her home, and the next Tuesday and then Wednesday, and just to like check her weight and stuff. And then we ended up getting newborn pictures taken on that Saturday after. So she was 2 weeks old when we got her newborn pictures taken. But besides that, like, we literally did not take her anywhere. If we went anywhere, she stayed in the car. One of us went in, or like we switched, like flip-flopped, you know, one of us go in, come back, one of us go in, you know. And that's just what the doctors and everybody said, like, for at least the first 8 weeks, try not to like introduce her to any germs or anything, just because she was so little and early, and so, you know, we didn't want to risk anything. But one thing, when we did bring her home, she was not able to keep her temperature, so I was like super paranoid about that. We had like 5 thermometers, and like I was constantly checking her temperature to make sure she wasn't too cold, and a lot of times she would be kind of cold, and I'd just be like, oh my gosh, skin to skin. So, you know, we'd undress her and get her skin to skin and make sure that she stayed warm and everything. But then all that passed, and she started getting a little chunky, and we did buy the little Hatch Baby scale, and that honestly like eased so many fears, because like, you know, you're wondering like that first little bit until your doctor's appointment, you know, is she gaining weight? Is she doing what she's supposed to? Because when we did go to our first doctor's appointment, she wasn't happy with her weight gain. She's like, I really want her to gain more, which she had gained like an ounce. So that was, we left the hospital on Saturday, she was 5 pounds even, and on Monday she was 5'1". But she wanted her to gain more than that. So then I was like, oh my gosh, we gotta have the scale, because I can't deal with this, like, you know, going to the doctor and like being told like, you know, she's not where I want her to be. So we got the scale, and I literally weigh her every single day. Yeah.
Hatch Baby Grow.
Yeah, the little scale. Just so we can keep an eye on it, because that's her main goal, like, for the next few weeks, is to gain weight. So just keeping an eye on it without having to just like wait for the go to the pediatrician. Hey baby. Hey.
I'm in underwear.
Okay. I'll cut this part out. Oh. Vader's blocking you.
Thanks, Vader. I was decent, but I'm in boxers, so that was awkward.
Yeah. Hey, Stellas. So this is Stella. She is
Obsessed with dogs.
so cute. I think she's got a little green bean up her nose. So
No, she doesn't.
I think so on this side.
Chelsea. Let's see.
Did she poop again?
No, she didn't leave. That's not a green bean.
Okay. And at this point, we were having to wake her every 3 hours and feed her. There was no, you know, like, she eats when she's hungry, like when she eats when she cries. Like, it was every 3 hours we had to wake her and feed her if she was asleep, which she pretty much was.
Yeah.
And she gained weight pretty well, pretty quick.
Yep.
And
we added calories, right?
Yeah, we had to do, she's breastfeeding, but we had to mix, I was pumping and had to mix some preemie formula in with it to add like calories. It's called fortifying your breast milk. This is the stuff that we're having to mix into her stuff. We're just doing a teaspoon to every 6 ounces of milk, of my milk. So that gives her a little bit more calories. So we had to do that. And so she had bottles for the first 4 months. She was pretty much exclusively bottle fed, but on breast milk. And I could breastfeed her maybe like once or twice a day.
Hey, she's my girl.
And then after her 4-month appointment, we were able to, you know, do more. So by the time she was 3 months old, she was starting to, you know, like look at you and smile and do more things like that. You know, she wasn't reaching for anything yet. Tummy time was still a struggle. She was crying during tummy time. Really wouldn't hold her head up very much. She would kind of, you know, do it. Not really.
Much better now.
Yeah, we're much better now with tummy time.
A little bit.
No, it was like hard knowing like if she was meeting milestones accurately. But every time we went to the doctor, like they had like a little questionnaire to fill out if she was, you know, doing like what were some of the questions?
Holding
like
her head up, waking up for food.
If she would look at you, if she would follow objects, if she would grasp and like open and close her hands.
If you could tell if she like heard sounds.
And like she did all those things. She just wasn't awake. That's the one thing that I noticed in the beginning is she was not like awake and looking around like most babies were. And
that
like,
girl was snoozing like her mama.
she sure was. And granted, you know, most parents film their babies when they're awake. So, you know, like, and take pictures of their babies when they're awake. So that was also kind of hard to compare against too. And it's hard not to compare because like you want to know like, okay, you know, what is their baby doing right now? Like, you know, is Stella doing the same things? Like, I don't know. You know, it was hard to make sure that she was reaching all of her milestones and, you know, just making sure we were doing everything right. And so 3 months, yeah, we were kind of getting out more, doing a little bit of things. She was getting in her stroller, we were going shopping, and that was fun, wasn't it? Yeah, she loves being in the stroller. She likes being in the car rides.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Until she doesn't.
Until she wants to be home.
You want to hold her?
Yeah. And, hey, baby. Oh, you wanted to see me? Look at the camera. Look.
She's been looking at the light. I don't know what that is.
Yeah. So, at 4 months. At 4 months old, she, 3 months old, she started sleeping through the night, I would say. And, you know, she does pretty well sleeping, I would say, but she wakes up at like 2:30 or 4:30, somewhere in there. D goes to work, he gets up at 4:30, and so that kind of interrupts, like, her sleep. You know, she hears him and kind of wakes up then. But we were putting her to bed at like 10, and then that was about 4 months, and so now we're putting her to bed at like 8 or 9. But I'm just trying to, like, I keep looking at me, I'm like trying to remember. So 4 months, she like started talking more and started doing like her little a-goo, and like that's like her favorite thing to say. She started. She hasn't said dada yet.
She's kind of said it.
Dee is like hoping she's gonna say it.
She's at least thought it.
Yeah. Okay.
I know she's thought it. Because I say dada, and she'll go. But like, without teeth, you know.
Yeah. Like.
It's hard. You can't smile without teeth.
I
mean, she can because she's a baby.
So that was, let's see, 4 months. She started talking. She started babbling. She started doing really good. At tummy time, she's standing right now, but you just see her little eyeballs. She started doing really good at tummy time. And playing with toys and that sort of thing. And she reached for a toy for the first time. We were at Brother Howe's house. I can't remember exactly when that was. I think it was in between 4 to 5 months. And so she finally like reached for something, and I was like, oh, finally, you know.
Like actually reached for it.
Like wanting it and grasping for it. And so
it almost seemed like she didn't really have control of her arms and stuff.
Yeah.
She was just flinging them around, and every now and then she'd grab like one of her dangly
so
toys.
like Mrs. Turtle, she likes to play with Mrs. Turtle, and she would just like smack at it, and that was like, oh yes, awesome, you know. So she was like at least knowing like, okay, this is an arm, like I can hit it.
And then she started grabbing for him.
Mm-hmm. And at her 4-month doctor appointment, like they wanted to make sure like she could like put pressure, like stand and like put bear weight. And she was doing that, and she was doing literally all the things.
Why does she have a bald spot?
I think it's because where she lays.
Oh.
She was doing all the things that, you know, like the milestone, the doctor milestone thing checklist, you know, pretty much checked for. But, you know, as far as, you know, I've seen where most babies by then are, not most, but a lot of babies are, you know, rolling from tummy to back and from back to tummy, and, you know, just, she's not doing that even now. So, she'll roll from her tummy to her back, but she hasn't got.
She has rolled a few times from her back to her side.
Yeah, she'll go.
I think one time she got all the way over.
Yeah, but she's like not doing it consistently.
Right.
So it's she's done it, but it's not like she's not like rolling all over the floor or nothing. But now here we are to 5 months, and hey baby, hey. The doctor recommended stopping swaddling when she was 4 months old. She wasn't rolling at that point, but I think she was just kind of being more safe than sorry. I think she's kind of cautious, so which is good. So she hasn't been swaddled since 4 months, and at first it was kind of hard because she really loved being swaddled. But
she loved it, but it was a love-hate relationship.
she didn't like the beginning
like
of
it
getting
at first,
swaddled, but after it was over, like she slept all through the night. She was sleeping literally like, 8 to 10 hour stretches at that point. And so that was awesome. But now that she's not swaddled, she kind of wakes herself up, but she does soak on her fingers and like puts herself back to sleep. And she's still sleeping in the pack and play, but she's kind of too long for it right now, so we don't know.
She's getting there.
Yeah, so when she wakes up, she shifts herself down, and it's pushing the sock up against like the outlet against the side of the pack and play, which causes it to go off for like loose whatever, so it starts singing to us, and so
freaks us out.
It doesn't freak me out. It wakes me up, and so it interrupts my sleep. And she's sleeping good, so it's like I'm still not getting a good night's sleep for literally no reason. I don't know. So we're trying to figure what to do now. I guess it's probably time to start transitioning her into the crib, but Mommy don't want to.
To her big girl bed.
Mommy don't want to. Not yet.
Time to go to the big girl bed.
So yeah, she's doing pretty good. We just started her on green beans 3 days ago, so this is her third day in a row eating green beans. We did give her some rice cereal last week or the week before that, just to introduce her to a texture. Like, we only did it like twice. I fed her one time when you were with me. But
I feel like the rice is really bland, so it shouldn't hurt her stomach.
Yeah, no, it wasn't like that. It was just to give her like a different kind of texture and like show her how to do something pretty much. But the green beans, she literally eats the entire container, and so she like loves them. And essentially she's doing pretty good. She's 15 pounds. So she's not too big. She's in 3 to 6 month clothing right now still. She wears some 6 month, but for the most part it's 3 to 6 still. Hey, you just looking at me? You just looking at me? And she giggles. She giggled for the first time, probably between 4.
We've got a video of it.
Yeah, about between 4 to 5 months, or about 5 months exactly, she giggled for the first time, and that's pretty much it. She's doing great and
growing
doing
like a
wonderful. The only way that you would know she was born early was because she's little still, I guess. She's not huge like a lot of babies are, but yeah, she's doing great, and
I love her so much.
I know, she is wonderful. So
she's so fun to be around.
Yep. So that is her little update video, and thank you so much for watching. Hope you have a great day, and God bless. Say bye.
Bye, Stella. Don't get her too close.
Goo.
That's cute.
A goo. Zigga zigga. And she's a little past 5 months right now.
5 months and 2 weeks and 2 days and 4 hours and 16 minutes and 36, 37, 38, 39 seconds, 40 seconds, 41 seconds.
Okay.